What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. In this video, we are jumping into X-Men Before the Fall, the Sinister Four. This will be the last one-shot prior to the Hellfire Gala, in preparation of Fall of X. We are seeing all of the pieces put onto the board, from Apocalypse to Genesis, from Orcus to all of our Sinisters. And while this issue isn't really action-packed, this one's really gonna focus on all the Sinisters. Specifically, we're gonna be focusing on Mother Righteous and Dr. Stasis. Not only will we be diving into their history, but we're gonna learn exactly what kicks off everything with the Fall of X. And we will also be seeing that no matter the Sinister, whether it be Orbis, whether it be Dr. Stasis, Mother Righteous, or our Diamond Sinister, all of them are plotting, all of them are scheming, all of them are aiming for Dominionhood. And make sure that you guys check out Blurred Without Fear tomorrow. Ernie and I will be going over all of the Before the Fall. We'll be dissecting it, we'll be going into what Apocalypse is doing, what Genesis is doing, and what our theories are moving forward when it comes to the Fall of X. So make sure you guys have subscribed to the channel, make sure that you like this video, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so our story starts us off in London 1852. We have Rebecca and we have Nathaniel Essex, the two of them taking a stroll down London. As the two of them sit here and discuss the gods, pagan and Christian alike, Nathaniel goes on to tell a story about a wife and a husband, one that live an unimaginable life, because on this day, this is the day that he proposed, pulling out a ring asking if they can build a family together, asking Rebecca to always be by his side. And Rebecca accepts. With the ring going on her finger, she says that her heart will always belong to him. And that's what takes us to London in present day. Dr. Stasis is finding himself very nervous, because this day, Mother Righteous is coming for a dinner date. And as the elevator doors open up, that is where Mother Righteous shows up. Now, Mother Righteous doesn't know that this is going to be a date. She thought that this was a meeting, with Mother Righteous starting this conversation off talking about Orcus. Dr. Stasis letting it be known that Nimrod is doubly suspicious of the actions she has been doing, especially that she has become very popular on the island of Krakoa. There is even rumors that she could be on the X-Men team. Her popularity has become so great that during the Hellfire Gala, when they vote in their new X-Men team, her name could be thrown into the pot. But Mother Righteous has no want nor need to join the X-Men. She simply wants a working relationship. Now, from this meeting, Dr. Stasis wants two things. The first thing we don't really get to see, a piece of paper that she burns after reading. And the second thing he wants is a date. The two of them to sit down and have a nice dinner. And at first, Mother Righteous is telling him that she is not Rebecca. Not really. And he is not Nathaniel Essex. Not in the way that he is trying to see it. Telling him that this is a road he doesn't want to go down. This story does nothing good for anybody involved. But Dr. Stasis truly does believe that she could love him again. And so, with Mother Righteous twirling her finger, we see her in her evening attire. As the two of them sit down, Dr. Stasis tries to have some small talk. This conversation quickly becomes how is taking over the world. And for Mother Righteous, it's going so-so. For Dr. Stasis, it's going a little bit better with Orcus on the rise. But even Mother Righteous sees Orcus more like a side game. She knows that he is more ambitious than to go with Orcus, that he wants more than this. With Mother Righteous asking how the last century has gone for Dr. Stasis, we get a glimpse through his life. A couple panels showing the last 100 years. And Dr. Stasis, he has been busy. For Mother Righteous, she has been just as busy. The two of them have both been working in the background, manipulating, doing anything they can to be able to grab at more power. But Mother Righteous goes on to ask, when did you realize that there were other Sinisters? Now, Mother Righteous had seen Mr. Sinister when he was playing around in public with the X-Men. At first, it had given her a fright, but Dr. Stasis, he knew Sinister a lot longer. They had moved in similar circles. In the 1940s, he was working for the US government, and while Dr. Stasis did some investigation, he thought that this was a creation of Apocalypse, a revenant left over from the process that had birthed him. But Dr. Stasis stayed clear, tried to put it to the back of his mind. For Mother Righteous, it has only been a decade since she discovered Sinister, surprised that it took her so long. But she does say that she was onto Orbis on a way earlier scale, and Stasis has no idea who Orbis is. This is him learning for the first time that there is a fourth. The two of them beginning to compare notes, talking on how they met. Him a noble, her being courted. Together they had a child by the name of Adam, but he was unwell. Stasis grew obsessed, working hard to save him, but in this, he lost himself, and Adam died. She was pregnant again, but Orbis was never the same. She lost the child and died cursing his name. The pain was so much for Stasis that he turned to Apocalypse, transformed him into something that didn't feel grief. He became the monster, that he was Prometheus stealing fires from the mutant gods, and he had plans to burn them all down. When he was reborn, he knew what he had to do, the awful mistakes he had to make amends for. But Mother Righteous goes on to let him know that this is a false memory. He may believe it completely, but it's not the real deal. That is nothing more than a fairy tale. And what she believes to be true is also not correct. That it is simply a story, but she knows what is happening. Pulling up one of her orbs, she pulls out a small book. A present for Dr. Stasis. As Stasis begins to read, he learns that Sinister, we already know, is confined to the pit. The other three, they continue to do what they are doing. While Orbis played his long game, Mother Righteous and Dr. Stasis were acting openly, and Stasis was planning something which would eventually lead to the fall. A lot of information has been redacted, so we're only getting small bits and pieces of what this is actually reading. But in the Sinister timeline, Mother Righteous had learned the truth, that they were all created by the original Nathaniel Essex. He did this when he was dying after the Apocalypse implants were rebelling, and so he created 4 versions of himself, all to explore the 4 alternatives. Mr. Sinister would explore Essex Man, Orbis, the cosmic powers, Mother Righteous, the power of magic, and Stasis, the possibility of post-humanity. And they were all pawns, all moving across the board in an attempt to become the ultimate queen first. One of them would become a dominion outside of time and space. In fact, one of them already has. And as the timeline had revealed, it wasn't Mr. Sinister. But who did? That has been redacted. With Stasis asking, "What do I owe you for all of this information?" She wants a simple thank you. But what he says is that everything he does is in thanks to her. Everything is for her. She is everything. This is when they find themselves returning to the Milbury house. They have come to pay their respects. Now Stasis had smashed the gravestones, but we see him bringing them back. Recreating it, it says Adam, Rebecca, and Morgan Essex, with him apologizing for Morgan, Adam, and everything else in between. She says that everything changes. The story continues to go on and on. That Nathaniel Essex, he wasn't a poetic man. As he had died, he tried to make the woman he loved, the one that he had lost. In a way, her creation is a love song. But now as they have gotten all of this out of the way, it is time for the other thing he had asked for. Grabbing one of her orbs, she sends it up into the air. Stasis had asked for the moon, and now she is bringing it. As we see a gateway open up, this is where the boatman Karen arrives. As Stasis jumps into action, Mother Righteous and Stasis fighting against the boatman, with his mask being smashed. He uses a weapon that he didn't want to use. Now he's tried to replicate the process behind Captain America's shield, And like every other scientist, he has failed. But he did manage to get it at about 99.9%. As he takes a ball out of his coat, he throws it at Karen and it lands into the chest, activating the PIM particles. We see this ball expand, and the boatman is absolutely destroyed as the two of them get close and it looks like they're about to kiss. This is where we have Celine. This is how she returned. Though she says she would have made her own way back eventually, she does thank them for the work that they have just done. And this has made Mother Righteous a confirmed Orcus affiliate. This is where we pick up later, picking up with Dr. Stasis having another meeting. But this meeting, it is with Orbis, the Spade Sinister. You see, the thing is, Dr. Stasis already knew about him. In fact, the two of them are working together. They are working together against Mother Righteous. And Dr. Stasis has no intention of actually falling in love with Mother Righteous. The entire thing was a big game, a big scheme. Now, he does go on to say that he does care for her, but he doesn't care for her in the way that he was portraying. He wants her under his control. She swore an oath to him so long ago, and he intends to remind her, because she promised to love, to honor, and most of all, she promised to obey. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Definitely not a bad issue, tons of information here. Really, we're seeing the Sinisters start to make their plays. All of them reaching for Dominionhood. All of them now knowing about one another. Some Sinisters are teaming up, others are backstabbing. You can't expect anything less from a Sinister. And all of them knows what's at stake. Godhood. Dominionhood. It is on the table. They all know that it is going to be one of them. And so they scheme, they backstab, they do all of this in an effort to try and be the one on top. While Orcus remains such a very serious threat to all of Krakoa, the Sinisters are using Orcus more like puppets, as a distraction for the X-Men. While they are scheming in the shadows, while they work in the background, they put Orcus front and center. That way they can complete their goals and then they can simply point the finger at Orcus. No matter what, the future shows nothing but danger. Mutant kind is in jeopardy. Their existence is now on the line. And the Hellfire Gala of 2023, it will reveal all. So let me know your thoughts, let me know your theories, if you would like to get completely caught up on everything going on with Before the Fall. Be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on with this series. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by joining the channel membership. Much like Patreon, having multiple different tiers, from $1 to $50. From loyalty badges to comics every single month. Not only are you helping out the channel tremendously, but you are getting tons of perks in the process. Now, if you are unable to do this, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit that notification bell, and with that being said, until the next breakdown.